Hi, my name's Mark. I'm one of the pastors here at Trillium. I was recently talking with someone who was going through a divorce, and they were lamenting to me not only the pain of this relationship ending, they've been married for a number of years, but how that in their social circle, which was mostly couples, because couples tend to congregate with couples, how their couple friends were taking sides, and one favoring one side, one favoring the other, and people he had considered very important in his life were now basically pulling away from him completely and turning their back on him, shutting the door to him. And just how the social circle was kind of collapsing even in the midst as he was going through divorce. And I was reflecting on that, and this is a common story I've heard from people who have become widowed or have gone through divorce, how when they become single again, their couple friends don't know what to do with them. And they become like that fifth wheel, and inevitably they sort of drop out with that broader circle of friends. They have to make new friends. And I call this whole phenomenon the other. The other. The other is anyone who makes you nervous or uneasy that you meet in your life, or people that you avoid because they make you uneasy or nervous. I was walking down King Street recently, and there's this large throng of teenagers around maybe 15 years old coming towards me. And I felt a bit uneasy or nervous about them because they were loud and raucous and very demonstrative in their gestures and all that. And I'm looking at them, and their behavior was uneasing me a bit. And of course, they walk by and nothing happens, and I'm thinking about it. In that moment, they became the other for me, someone to be avoided if I could manage it. Or perhaps, someone who's having a schizophrenic episode. I lived in Toronto and went to school in Toronto for many years. And you'd see people having these schizophrenic outbursts, and they'd be screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs and thrashing their arms around, or they'd walk by and muttering something to themselves. And there's that moment of unease or dis-ease or nervousness. And they'd be avoided. They become the other. So sometimes people's behavior causes us to make them the other. Sometimes it's their appearance. Those youth that walked by me on King Street, it wasn't just their behavior. They looked a bit disheveled. They looked ill-disciplined to me, and it made me a bit nervous too. Or the schizophrenic is usually someone who hasn't been able to keep care of themselves, and they got long hair, and they smell, and they wear dirty clothes, and sometimes how people look. Or maybe it's their skin color. I mean, most of us don't like the idea that we're racist, but when you meet people of different ethnicities, sometimes it can trigger that unease or nervousness in us, and they become in that moment the other. Sometimes it's people's life circumstances. They get unemployed, and we just don't know what to do with them when they're unemployed. Sometimes no news is good news with friends or family members who are unemployed. Sometimes it may be a health issue. Someone gets sick and you don't know what to do with them, so you don't go visit them, or you kind of step back away from them. I mean, there's a whole host of ways that we make people the other. And at Trillium, we have committed ourselves as our core practice to offer friendship and fellowship to all. We see this as the concrete expression of God's love unconditional, which is abstract. So we concrete it and we make it real in our lives by offering friendship and fellowship to all. And that means we offer friendship and fellowship to the other. And that's a huge challenge for us here at Trillium and any church community. It's a huge challenge for any of us in life to offer friendship and fellowship to the other. When you watch Jesus' ministry in the Gospels, and you see him interacting with people, you see him interacting with a mentally disturbed person, it's amazing to watch how he does not flinch away from them. Putting aside the miracle stories and all that, it's simply interesting to observe that in those moments, I don't know what's going on the inside, but on the outside, he does not flinch away. In fact, the miracle only takes place because he stays engaged with them. He's able to put his arms, in a sense, around the other, and a miracle extends out between them, and there's often healing in that situation. We have ourselves been given an opportunity to be God's hands. We can extend out the blessing of God by remaining connected in the moment with the other. And it's probably the hardest thing any of us will ever do. You don't have to like doing it. You can still be nervous or uneasy in the midst of it all. All we need to do is do it.